Welcome to the CEO Insider Podcast, powered by YTexas and brought to you by Ryan, liberating their clients from the burden of being overtaxed, freeing their capital to invest, grow, and thrive. Happy holidays. My name is Sandy McIlree, along with Ed Curtis. Ed, good to see you. A lot of stuff happening. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, right?
Yes. Yeah. Busy times in the world of economic development in Texas, for sure.
Everybody's scrambling to get stuff done, but that's one thing about Texans. And the one thing, especially I think like the new person, Ed, that may be watching this for the first time, they just moved here, maybe relocated their company or or were part of a company that relocated here. Here's something that you're going to find out about Texans. Texans will help you out. They'll like, all right, what do you need? How can I help you? There's parts of this country, not so much with that.
Yeah, and people feel uncomfortable with it at first.
Yeah.
It's. Think about the first time. I moved from the East Coast. I know you're primarily from here, but first time you move here and you experience that, it is odd for sure.
You're like, what's the hustle? What's the angle?
Oh yeah, what's the agenda?
Of course. But and then over time you realize there's not an agenda. It's just good people. But there is a lot of things happening. I mean, we could sit here and talk for an hour or two if we wanted to, but let's jump into what's happening just down the I-35 from us, South I-35 in San Antonio, Texas. Military city may become even more of a military city as San Antonio has been named one of the finalists for the Space Command.
Yeah. And, I think obviously the election and holidays and everything that's going on in the news, it's really caught a lot of attention, but this thing is sneaking up on us. They're going to be making the decision of where they're relocating or where they're going to be putting this command probably in early January. And Texas is in the running. San Antonio is in the running for it.
Yeah, and I read that a group of enlistees, 700 of them graduated, and in that class of 700 are the first seven enlistees that will be part of the Space Command. So that's the first generation of non-officers that are going to be in the Space Command are graduating. Here we are on the 10th day of December. They're graduating on December 20. So that's 10 days away. But if you're watching this in the future, they may have already graduated and began work. If you think about that, in the Space Command, they're probably just sitting around awaiting orders as to where they're going to go. And that depends on, like you said, where they decide to put the Space Command. But I can't think really of a much better city to do it in than San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. It's rated the second city in the country for cybersecurity outside of Washington, D.C. Look, we've got the Army Futures Command here in Austin now. We have NASA. With the Southwest Research Institute in San Antonio, it is a perfect fit, and we're rooting for it. And there's a lot going on here locally to be promoting this that I'd love to share on the podcast today over the next several weeks.
Okay, can you tell us now?
Well, there's, obviously the governor's office and the economic development folks have all put in their bids, but there's a group of local business people who are going to be putting together a live stream event on December 17th. And it's in partnership with the University of Texas at San Antonio, their economic development department, a guy by the name of Vic Malloy. Vic, if you're listening, you're unbelievable work that they're doing. They reached out to YTexas and we're going to help them corral some people. We actually got them, the guys from Firefly Aerospace, to sit on the panel.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be a virtual discussion about why San Antonio is a good location for this headquarters. And it's going to be streamed directly into the White House, obviously to anyone publicly, but hopefully it'll, we give him a little nudge.
Yeah, Senator Cornyn definitely making his play for San Antonio recently, and strongly supporting that San Antonio be the location of the Space Command. I want to show you something kind of neat, Ed.
Yes.
As I've mentioned to you before, maybe I have it to everyone that's watching. I'm a military brat. I grew up in a military household, and I always, with this caveat that I didn't have it near as bad as a lot of military kids did, meaning that I didn't have to move as much as a lot of kids did. I mean, I had friends that, would move 8 times before graduating high school. I didn't have it that bad. But my dad gave me something, and I'm going to put it up on the screen right now, that's a little bit interesting. It's from the 1970s. By the way, my dad's a retired lieutenant colonel, and this was his. And I asked him about it once, and he said, "Oh yeah, one of the guys in the squadron had those made, and it's it was just kind of a joke, pie in the sky type of thing." I don't think I believe him.
Colonel McIlree did not doubt him at all.
I don't know. If there was a secret to be kept in all of this, he would still keep it. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
But it's a heavy, very, very heavy, it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. It's like, it looks like a coaster, but it's not,
Yeah, it looks big.
It is. It's big. It's heavy. I mean, you don't make these as gag gifts. You know what I'm saying? So I would love to know, especially if there's anybody that's watching this that could shed some more information on that. I would love to know more about it because my dad's not going to tell me anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
well, I'm sure there's plenty of people that know exactly what that is. And I'll make sure they get it in front of them.
Yeah. I may have to, I may have to let you take that with you when you're around some of the people that are lobbying, or not lobbying, but, campaigning.
Walk around town with it.
Yeah, there's like
so tell me, because I think this command is coming to light now, obviously because of the Space Force, but this has been going on. I mean, this has obviously been around since the early 70s. Educate me and us about what you know about it.
This is
you lived it.
I really don't. I mean, I lived a military life. I lived a life as a military kid. And the funny thing about being a military kid, Ed, is that the entire world for you lives on that base, or if you were Army, on that post. Everything you needed. It was great. There was a bowling alley, indoor tennis courts, 2 golf courses, shopping, the grocery store, the doctor, the dry cleaner, the liquor store, the pharmacy. Everything you could imagine was right there. It was on the base. It was great. The only downside of being a military kid was that when we shopped at the BX, and again, if you're Army or Navy, it's PX, like if the Nikes that came out, this year, the 2020 Nikes, when they came out back in January, we wouldn't see them until like June of 2021. You know what I mean? It was always just a delay in things. But movie theaters, we got movies like 90 days later. But to be very honest with you, I can't tell you much about the Space Command other than it sounds real cool, right?
Right.
And it's going to be cool. And it'd be great to say it's in Texas. Well,
we were talking about this before the show. I mean, the actual command and what happens in space will probably happen after our lifetime, but it's pretty cool to see it being formed now. And just a little more background on San Antonio for those who don't know. That it has been trademarked and deemed Military City USA. Has 75,000 uniformed and civilian personnel, like 235,000 military dependents, and 270,000 retirees and veterans. So again, the Alamo City, home to 4 major military installations. They have Randolph, Lackland, Port Sam Houston, Camp Bullis. And then Port San Antonio, where hopefully the headquarters will be. It's we talk about this. There's still a lot of people in Texas who are not aware of the power in that area.
Well, think about the Central Texas region. I mean, you got Fort Hood right up the road from us, which is a major military installation. The Army Futures Command in Austin, San Antonio. You've got all the bases that you just mentioned, along with the cybersecurity that's there. It's a very fortified part of the country, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, fortified. It's a good word.
I feel pretty safe.
They said I've been hearing informally that the command, if it is here, is going to require about 4,000 to 6,000 people, personnel.
Wow.
So whether they're people here locally or they're relocating for that, that's a lot of jobs. I mean, the
economic impact. Yeah, the economic impact of something like that is massive. It's the things that pop up around it is what's going to be really great for the region as well. So,
well, and again, I think what we've got in San Antonio with the Research Institute and UTSA and the Air Force bases. I mean, we're ready for it. There is a website I want to share. It's called spaceforcesa.com. And all of the information related to the live stream and the initiative is on there. So we're going to be pushing this. I think because of this live stream, UTSA has now decided today that they're going to be doing these more frequently. So it's good. A lot of good information. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. And the more people around this initiative will be better. Will be the better. And we'll find out if we win it.
Yeah, we'll find out. It'll be a great day when it happens. I have a good feeling. I got a good feeling about it,
Yeah,
of course.
Too. I mean, Texas has been has been on top of their game for a while now. Hewlett Packard Enterprise has announced they're coming to Houston, which is great. Mm-hmm. A lot of these technology companies are typically going to Dallas and Austin. So Houston's in the game. Like we talked about, there's a lot happening, but we had to put focus on this because this is urgent.
Yeah, I always look at things like this. How would you like to be one of the competitors against San Antonio?
Yeah.
I don't think I would want to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, put yourself in their shoes. They're going to have to put on a pretty spectacular presentation to beat San Antonio.
Well, look, Colorado Springs is a big competitor than this because they're already doing things there. But I'm putting us in the catbird seat.
Yeah, and the Air Force Academy being right there in Colorado Springs doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. So we will have to wait and see because, as you know, Ed, people way above our pay grade will be making that decision.
Yes, but the little people like us can wave our hands.
We can be the space nerds.
Yeah, I'd take that in a minute.
Would you?
Take that in a minute.
If someone offered you a free trip to the moon and back, would you go?
No.
No?
No.
What?
I don't know.
I'd go in a second. Oh my gosh. Oh, heck yeah. Come on, Ed.
What if you don't get back?
I said there and back.
I mean, what if you don't get back?
You'll get back.
I know.
Come on. It's been 50 years since they went to the moon. They certainly can do it again. You saw that China made it to the dark side of the moon, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's kind of crazy.
I know.
That's a big deal.
I'd probably go to the moon. Mars, I don't know about Mars.
No, Mars too far. You're not coming back if you go to Mars.
Yeah.
You don't get to come back. You're there. You're stuck there. What if
the sad thing is, I think there's a lot of people in this country that would still take that one-way trip.
Yeah, especially given the year that we've had in 2020.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, count me in.
Hey, there's some people I'd like to put on that trip. Ed, great visiting with you. Good seeing you.
You too.
And hopefully we'll have good news soon about San Antonio.
Yeah, like I said, January, I think, is when they're going to be making the announcement. So we'll see.
All right, bud.